Everyone, it's Kirei here for Hey Little Magpie, and I have a brand new layout using the fabulous Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Junk Drawer collection. And I'm also using a clear stamp set from Arden Creative Studio. So I have pulled out a number of the pattern papers, and then I have this one here with all of the sort of like clipboards on it. And I'd saved this from my previous layout because I just had this idea that I was going to cut the clipboards out and I would use them to sort of tuck photos on, which I've done here. So you can see I've fussy cut them all out. I've got this green ledger pattern paper background. It's called Cypress. And then I've got all these, there's a pattern paper called All the Possibilities. And it has all these small sort of floral cards on them. And I've just trimming out a few of those, and I'm going to tuck them behind the photos on the small clipboards. It's almost like I feel like I'm just sort of using it as like, the little clipboards. I'm layering up little bits of pieces. They're, being clipped together. So that was just sort of the idea I was sort of working with. So I am mounting my photos on the large clipboards on the brown pattern paper. This is the same one as the small floral cards. It's called All the Possibilities. I do forget at this point to mount the third photo on the large clipboard, but I will do that eventually. Um, and then I've got all the ephemera. So I have the floral ephemera, and then I've got the bits and pieces ephemera, and I've just pulled out a selection, and I will work on adding those to each of the photos and clipboards. So I'm just sort of placing everything. I've distressed the edges, of course, of the little layered pieces. I have not distressed the edges of the clipboards. Unusually for me, I would, distress all my layers, but for the clipboards, I felt they didn't need distressing because they're clipboards. So, yeah. Okay, and then I've got the peach ledger pattern paper. This one's called Carnation, and these are great. So it's ledger on the other side. You can't see it, but it's like little dots on this side. And these are great for a background or for mounting or adding layers when you don't want too much pattern. So, yeah, so there's a few colours in the collection actually, like this. Okay, so the photos on the small clipboards are mounted with that peach colour, and then I think this is the point when I suddenly realised that other photo on the large clipboard I'd forgotten to mount, and I do that. So here we go. I've realised. So yeah, we've got a piece of brown. Quickly get that done, and then I'm sort of ready to go. I can play around with the ephemera and work out what I want to add to each of the clipboards. So I've got sort of the floral pieces, I've got some of the butterflies, I've got some of the words, and excuse me. And then I've also got the foam stickers and enamel dots that I will work with as well. And then I've brought in a few elements from the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kits. I've just pulled out some pieces. I've got the green padded heart. I've got the wooden words, so such fun and remember this. I don't use remember this actually in the end. And I think, I do add some, I've got some gold fabric stars. You can just see them at the very top of the screen. And I will add those as well. So here we go. I'm happy with everything, and so I can start to get all my bits and pieces stuck down. So firstly, I'll get the clipboard stuck down, and I am mounting them with foam pads and raising them all off the background. I don't always do that with my photos, but because of what they are, I decided I would give them all that dimension. Um, and then once I've got those all ready to go, I then decided I was going to add some stamping. So here they are; they're all ready. And then I'm going to bring in, this is the Arden Creative Studio. It's the clear stamp set, Maker Series letterbox postmarks, and it's from the Laurel Grove collection. But it's fabulous. There's all different bits and pieces, sort of smaller stamps and larger ones. And I've just got one here with some script on it. And then I'm going to use some of the sort of postmark pieces. And it's just really subtle. I'm using Distress Oxide in pumice stone, and it was just perfect to add that subtle detail to the background. But it just added a little bit more for me, versus it just having all of my clipboard sat on just that lined ledger background. So I just like the extra detail that added. So I'm just sort of really working out and roughly where things are going to be sat, and just adding my stamping next to that, so it just peeps out. So yeah, so I was happy with how that worked. And the color, I don't think I've used this one before, but actually it was perfect. It was just very subtle. It was almost like it was sort of faded in the background. So yeah, happy with how that looks. And oh yeah, I decided I would add a little bit more in over on that side there, bringing that sort of oval postmark. And then now that I've done that stamping, I can get everything stuck down. So we'll get all of these stuck down. You won't watch me do all of this because it takes me a little while and it's not that exciting. It's pretty straightforward. Um, so yeah, moving on in just a moment. They'll all be stuck down as if by magic. There we go. And now I can start to get that ephemera on. So you can see me there curving the edges. I'm just adding some glue to the center so that I can still get that nice lift on those pieces. The butterflies will be stuck just under the body part so that the wings lift up. So yeah, so just working my way through everything. Just adding, I just love the sort of way it looks, like a series of little clipboards hung on a wall with lots of bits that are clipped together on each of them. So yeah, that was the feel I was going for, and I'm happy with how it's came together. My photos, actually, I'm still scrapping photos from our US trip last year. I have a long list of layouts that I keep building, adding to as I go. When we've done something, had holidays, I've, been out for the day or whatever, and I have photos, and then I just go back over that list and I tick them off as I go, because I find that sometimes I'm just waiting for the right collection or, papers to go with the photos that I've got that I'm waiting to scrap. So yeah, it's been working well for me. I don't know why I haven't done that before with a list. I've really only done that in the last year, and I love a list. But yeah, it is definitely the way to go forward. Yeah, just keep adding to my little list of layouts I want to do, so I don't forget to scrap those photos. So yeah, we were in this was in New Orleans, so it was the last stop of our 3-city tour, and we'd found this bar. We were told about it by people in the same place that we were staying at. We were staying in these like little cottages right in the center of the city, and very near in the French Quarter, and they told us you need to go to the Carousel Bar, and it's in the Hotel Monteleone, which was a few streets down from us. And literally, the Carousel Bar is actually a carousel inside in the bar. A small one, but it moves around, and there's these beautifully decorated chairs with like carved animals on the back of them, brightly painted, and then you sit on that, and basically it just moves around, and the bartenders are in the middle, and they're serving you, and it was fab. We loved it. The bartenders were lovely, and they made the best cocktails. So we I think we went back about 3 times actually, because it was such fun. So yeah, I've been waiting to scrap those photos, and I thought it worked. They worked particularly well with this new Simple Stories Simple Vintage Junk Drawer collection. Okay, so I'm getting the last bits and pieces down here. That remember this, I keep adding it to that bottom sort of row of like buttons. And actually, I wasn't sure, and I don't actually use it in the end. But actually, seeing it on the video now, actually, I quite like how it looks. But anyway, no, it didn't make the grade. That's fine. It will be able to go on another layer. And then I've got the coordinating enamel dots. So I'm just adding the brown ones, and I'm just figuring out where they're all going to go. And as per usual, I'm playing around with them. Can't quite decide. Actually, I don't do too badly, actually. I do move one lot. But yeah, I tend to faff around with thinking, how many I need where, and yeah, and what position they're going to be, and all that sort of thing. Honestly, I should just stick them down. They're just enamel dots. Um, so yeah, I'll get those stuck down, and then I think I'm almost done. Apologies if my voice is a bit off. I've actually got a bad sore throat and a cough, and I'm praying I'm going to get through this video without having to have a coughing fit because my throat's tickling. So far so good. Okay, I just brought my gold watercolor paint, and I'm just going to add some splatters to the clusters around each of the clipboards. So, and then I'll be done. I will add some journaling below the title, as I always do. Yeah, I think we will just get to the final layout in just a moment, and then we'll see all of those close-ups. But I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video. I'm loving this collection: Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Junk Drawer, and of course that fabulous stamp set from Arden Creative Studio from their Laurel Grove collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.